Good evening. It's the fan phone in, and tonight you can see I don't have Ryman with me because he's away on his holiday, and fair play to him. Don't blame him one bit at all. But standing in is Stevie. How are we doing, Stevie?
I'm very good, thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm glad you're good because after that game yesterday, and you know what, there were parts of it where we actually looked like a coherent football team. But there were also parts where we didn't look like a football team. I'm trying to think of a poetic way of putting it, but to be honest, you'll probably be able to put a nicer spin on that.
Well, I'm worn out, right? We all bought the
Yeah.
optimism and the confidence, didn't we? For 30 minutes, the players did as well. But then post that, as soon as it got to the penalty miss, I think heads dropped. But look, Mansfield, they're no easy task. Mansfield have got Nigel Clough. His dad was Brian Clough.
Oh,
Brian Clough managed
was
Nottingham Forest, and
yeah.
Nottingham Forest won the European Cup twice. So technically, by Graham Jones's logic spectrum, we've only lost 2-0 to European champions. So
Yeah, it's tenuous, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, he set the team up well. There's no doubt about that. Like Nigel Clough, he's a good manager. I think he's been doing this for like 20 years now. He's really been about, and he's kind of the experienced head that you'd think potentially could have come in to the club, even if he isn't like the most inspiring of managers. But you saw him barking out orders on the touchline. Let's not forget it's Jack Wilshere's first game, and I think a lot of the game week and the prep was taken up with all these ridiculous interviews he was giving.
yeah,
I think
well,
Brocky counted them out. I think he counted 9 in total, 9 interviews, and it was mostly just him saying the same stuff over and over again. They were more interested in Arsenal than what he was
yeah,
going to do with Luton.
the same stuff, just really quietly in every interview because he's so softly spoken. But yeah, what can you do with that? I said to my brother yesterday, he'll be watching this, Daniel. Shout out to Dan, aka Dan the Man, aka I'm the one who stole your lighter. But Dan, yeah, we said yesterday this was a managerless game, I think. Jack Wilshere may as well have been sat in the main stand watching, scouting the players like they normally bring a manager in to watch the first game before they take charge. The players, yeah, they bought the first 30 minutes, some good patterns of play, some excellent chances. If Jordan Clark sticks that one away, doesn't take deflection, game changes. If the penalty goes in, the game changes. But this isn't on Jack Wilshere. I saw some silly comments on, the platform, the main sewage platform, which talks about Wilshere's off to a bad start. This isn't Wilshere's game, Now it starts. He's got a week to work with the players, and now we've lost. Jack Wilshere's Luton Town has lost. Now he'll be left to get on with it, and Sky will leave him alone. What do you think with that?
Yeah, well, look, I hope that is the case because with the scrutiny of the media, the mainstream media that is, where they're just constantly hounding and everyone and their dog pretty much wrote an article about Jack Wilshere's Luton Town, and they all came out today, and I'm glad he got a good reception both on and off the pitch. Um, for the players, they got to use that as fuel. I mean, Wilshere has to use that as fuel for the players. Like, look, everyone's pissed off at you guys. Can you hear that? Like, that's not me. He will get a pass for
Hmm.
a couple of weeks because these players have pretty much seen off 2 managers now. Look at what Rob Edwards is doing with Middlesbrough. I still think he's going to drop off spectacularly, but
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
seen off Rob Edwards. They've seen off Matt Bloomfield. Obviously, at some point, it's not the manager. And there's a great coaching team in here now. It can't keep going on like this.
No.
And now
But
you're going to be like, oh, it can.
oh, it can. The Mick McCarthy meme. Oh, and it will. But no, like he's got the Virtue Trophy game. well, let's say Northampton on Saturday. I'm not optimistic about Northampton on Saturday. I think that still comes a bit too soon to get anything into this group of players. That's the worst I've heard Kenilworth Road at the full-time whistle for a long time, even the Rob Edwards era, because it was directed at one person leaving the pitch. But yesterday, everyone got it. Everyone got it. Jordan Clark walked a bit further than the tunnel to the corner of J Block, the main stand, to clap. But every player got, "You're not fit to wear this shirt." And it's so disappointing to hear it. And Jack Wilshere must hear that. And the coaching staff will hear that and think, what are we doing here? We're going to turn this around brilliantly because it can't get any worse, or is this just completely hopeless? You know, Mansfield went into that game having only, someone said, only having won 2 away games in 19. Can you believe that?
Yep.
Dr. Luton will see you now. That's your catchphrase, right? So, there you go. Dr. Luton will see you. And people, all day yesterday, I was hearing, here's the players' chance to show what they're made of. And you know what they're made of? They're made of dead autumnal leaves covered in dog piss, right? they crumble under pressure, and not even strong piss, weak piss, right? Just weak, kidney-infected dog piss, elderly, geriatric dog piss. Just there was nothing there, Second half was a clown show. I think you said it was a clown show, complete clown show. I sat down from the 49th minute. I've not done that at Kenilworth Road since I was about 10. It's just I sat down. The only time I stood up was to make sure I didn't get deep vein thrombosis. It's just it will change. It will change. It will get better. He's got a couple of games coming up now. Brighton under 21s, and everyone's going to say, aren't they? Only not long ago we were beating Brighton's first team 4-0. Now we're losing to their under 21s 2-1. You can see it now, and we will put out a strong team because we don't have depth in squad at the moment.
Yeah, well, we were talking off camera beforehand, and you were saying, do we dip into the free agent market? And I said, we should look to the youth, because obviously the youth, they're going to be playing with a left back and a right back. In the under 21s. Like, why can't we use them? Like, JJ was 17 when he broke into our team. Are we saying that none of our players, like an actual coherent left back or right back, will be able to do a job with like an experienced individual next to them? Like, they can't take instruction.
Completely. We're playing a back 4 at the moment with 4 centre backs. So I don't know whether Chigozie is an actual left back or right back. Isn't there a fellow called Paternoster? I believe he was kind of making waves, and he was on the fringes of the first team last year. If he plays either fullback role, get him in. Just get him in. It can't be any worse now, than what we're doing now. People wanted the formation change, but I don't think we've got the personnel to play the formation change at the moment. The low market, there's all these rumours of Jamal Lewis. I wouldn't say no to Jamal Lewis. I wouldn't say no to Joel Ward. I know he's 30-odd, 34, 35. He's not doing anything now, And there was that fella called Egbo who played for Charlton and Colchester, natural right back. He's only about 27. There's other League One teams that are dancing around these players. So why not get them in? We've got spaces in the squad, haven't we?
Yeah. We have multiple spaces. I think we've got 19 players registered. No Elijah. Baptiste is there.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's honestly weird that the recruitment and the manager Bloomfield, when he was there, and the recruitment didn't have an actual discussion about this and be like, right, I'm aiming to evolve us to a back 4. Who have we got that can play left back and right back? So we go into the season with essentially Alfie Doughty and Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson gets injured. Alfie Doughty gets sold. Right, we got no left backs. We panic sign Cohen Bramall. Not up to speed. On the right, who do we have on the right? Well, we sell Hashioka, and we've got Ruel Walters. But then Walters gets injured. Regardless, even if Walters was fit and Joe Johnson was fit, there's no depth there.
No, there isn't.
And we got Cohen Bramall. We're persisting with playing him as a left winger. Have you noticed that?
And where does Hakeem Udofin fit in? Is he an actual fullback? Because he's just another one of these players that we sign and do the medicals after, and then we don't hear from him again. It's just so where does he play exactly, and what will he play when he comes back?
I honestly don't know if he exists.
I don't think he does. I think it might be one of those fake employees that the company's put out just to you know, sort the
Tax
wage
relief.
bill. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. But it's yeah, we don't have the personnel for it. And Matt Bloomfield's last press conference, I think it was the Stevenage game, where he was asked, "Would you think about dipping into the free agent market?" "Oh no, we don't need to do that." And then immediately after there was a sentence where he said something about not having the correct players to play a back four, or wanting to play two up top. We want to play two up top. We recruited for two up top, and then come Stevenage, there's one. There's one up top.
Yeah.
So I
It's
wonder
mad. Like
whether
they got to get their story straight.
they have. They have. They'd crumble under interrogation, would they? And
Oh
the good
yeah.
thing is, 24 hours of police custody set in Luton, so I'm pretty sure it won't be long before they're hauled in to explain, and Gary Sweet will be sat there with his no comment badge on.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there's an interrogation coming in their future. Who knows? Who knows? That is wild speculation. And also, to everyone in the comments, good evening. Sorry, we dive straight in. Let's get some comments. Right. Snack Weasel. No right back. Lots of central defenders. Back to three at the back. Oh God, no. Can you imagine the reaction from everyone at Kenilworth Road if we start with a back three? Hell no. I don't fancy it. Mark Cheetham. Need someone like Savile on pens. Someone with a bit of mental strength. Do you think it was absolutely ridiculous that Naki Wells took that penalty?
I do think it's ridiculous.
Like
It is
Clark won
that.
it.
Yeah, Clark won it. Cadell was on the pitch, wasn't he?
Yeah. They had a wrestle to see who,
Yeah.
like, give me that ball. It's not your
The,
ball,
the,
it's my
the
ball.
confident the confident player should take it. I've got an interesting stat for you. I know how much you like your XG, right? Because we're
Oh, I
top of the
love
XG league,
XG,
right?
mate.
So I've got Naki Wells here. His XG, right, one goal in 525 minutes, apparently.
Mhm.
Okay. So his XG, not including penalties, per 90 minutes is 0.03.
That sounds
That's
about
his
right.
XG, right? With
Yeah.
penalties, it's 0.11, right? Now take that out. A prolific striker should be 0.30
Yeah.
xG. So he's low on confidence. He's taking the ball. Granted, Jack Wilshere and the coaching staff aren't going to step in and probably go, "Oh no." In the 20 minutes I've had to train you lot between Sky Sports and TNT, I reckon he should take the penalty. It's like when you watch Jack Wilshere yesterday, I think they were just willing to just see how this team communicates and plays out in a real life environment, not the training ground, the real life battlefield. How do they manage each other? The answer is piss poorly, so badly. Wells ain't the captain. Godot's not the captain. Naismith should be saying something. Jordan Clark, the senior member of the team, should be saying, no. This needs to go in now. We need to get our tails up. We need to get a bit of confidence going. Play the rest of this game on the front foot with a lead. Wells weren't
Yeah.
the person to do that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And Jordan Clark, I feel Jordan Clark should have taken it, considering he won the penalty. I think it
Has he ever
should be
taken a
that.
penalty? Has he ever taken one?
Yes. He must have taken, he's had like a long career. He must have taken a penalty at some point. I think anyway. Nick says Jordan Clark, the only one who looks half decent. It's like the film Space Jam in real life. Yeah, they do all look like they're being space jammed. I can imagine them all walking down the tunnel, like donking their heads on the "Welcome to Kenilworth Road" sign. Rob Walker, we have a squad of spineless, non-league quality players. Now, look, on paper, they're good players. They're good
Yeah.
players. I just don't know what's happened to them.
Lack of management, a lack of correct management. And like I said, yesterday's game was, I'm not going to say free hit because it's not a free hit, but it was a managerless game. Jack Wilshere's there in person, so is the coaching staff. They've not had enough time with this squad. The training photos they put out behind the scenes, Jack's first training session, out of that 10 photos they put out, 7 of them were from the same moment. It was just 7 photos were just of, Jones talking to Wilshere, or Jacob Brown was standing near a cone. They haven't had time yet. And the thing is, I kind of want us to bounce back quickly, like you do in football. We go, let's go again Tuesday. Let's get some confidence. I wouldn't want them to. I think they need this whole week of training, ahead of Northampton. And if that goes badly, which, I'm not putting it past them at the moment, at least we've got a couple of games that we can throw away and try something with. No one wants to win against. No one really cares about Brighton under 21s or Forest. We've got bigger things we need to focus on. If we finish mid-table and win that Virtue Trophy, I don't think that's a successful season.
You don't think winning a sort of not major trophy is a successful season? Come on, the JPT win was tremendous.
I think that's romantic, isn't it? Because of what happened. It was out of our hands going down. So I think that's a romantic win. But if we were to win the Virtue Trophy and finish 15th, God forbid we don't get this sorted by January, because Jordan Clark, he can play in any championship team, and someone's going to come knocking and think, let's just rescue him. Let's take him, So we need to get it together quickly, or we might find we'll start to lose a few decent ones and there'll be no one to replace them with, because obviously we're trying out to have a squad of 12 players, aren't we, eventually?
Yeah. Race to the bottom. It's like pointless.
Race to the bottom.
Just with squad positions. Right. Here's what I love this one. Trunky123. Ross Barkley would have been proud of that through ball by Wells. When I had to watch that one backwards because I saw it live, obviously, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's just happened? Did Wells play that ball? And my dad completely missed it. I watched it back. Honestly, it was a very basic pass, and it was a 20-yard pass just back to the defense.
Yeah.
And he's missed the defender by about 15 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like schoolboy stuff. Like my kids can pass a ball more accurately than that. He's 3.
It's going backwards when it shouldn't have gone backwards. It shouldn't have gone backwards anyway. You're a forward. You've got the ball. And you're not far off the halfway line. Beat a player. I know you're 35, but come on, lay it off, make a run, do something. Don't play it back. Don't need to reset. We keep resetting. We keep conceding. So we don't need to play it back. The amount of sideways passes, knocking it around the area, looking for a ding into the box, and seeing Wells that far back at that point reminded me of Carlton Morris, where he used to try and cross it into himself. It's just out of position. The new manager bounce doesn't exist for us. We still haven't had a new manager win their first game for how long? How long's it been? Andy Orford's, I thought I read somewhere.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. We did look better in spells, though. That's the thing. Like, if we can just take that, other than Mansfield's first 2 chances, the first 10 minutes, we started playing from the 10th minute to the 35th. And then the wheels just came off for the last 10 minutes of the half. But that's still half an hour of good football. And then we just didn't bother turning up for the second half.
It could have started so badly with Tyler Roberts' shot in the first 3 minutes. Good save by Keeley. If that's gone in, I think we're in for a longer afternoon. It might not have ended 2. It might have been more, because I just think the confidence is so shot at the moment. They're going to need this whole week to get something sorted. Where's his club psychologist they've got? Maybe they need some wellness sessions. Go out on the pitch in their bare feet at midnight or something.
They could only afford him for 1 session. Like, notice how he's only been talked about. Like after that Doncaster win, and Cal was like, "Yeah, the club psychologist." That was it. That's your lot. 1 session.
Just 1 LinkedIn training session.
Yeah.
God.
Unreal. Apparently Jordan Clark took a spot kick at Wembley. Yes. I didn't want to say that as an absolute statement. I really didn't. But so he's taken a penalty in
huge pressure,
really
that one.
really trying circumstances.
Yeah.
B Hatter says the co-host is excellent. Sorry, didn't catch his name. So that's before we get our callers in. Stevie, this is Stevie Kilgore. Do you want to plug your socials if you want people following you on the platform that we dare not speak its name?
Yeah, stay off X, man. Don't bother going on it. But if you want to go with it, I run LTFC Block F. So me and my brother run that account. But yeah, we don't do much with it. Because everyone's so poisonous. The vitriol on X is just too much. I came off X for a full 7 days while we had no manager, because I couldn't deal with the speculation, and just some of the outright stupid recommendations of people wanting Tony Mowbray in or someone like this. It's like, he coined the teams like Luton phrase. He's not going to come and help us in any way. We owe him that. So anyway, don't go on X. It's terrible.
There you have it. So that's Stevie's socials. Don't follow him or else. Right, let's bring our first caller in. Reminder, the call link is pinned to the top of the chat, and it's also in the comment. It's top of the chat, and it's in the what they call that thing below the video. The description. Yes, it's also in the description of this video. So if you fancy joining in, please get involved and you can be our next caller. Why not? Right. So we got Tyler from T-Boys TV. Good evening, Tyler. How you getting on, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, despite the football. What about yourselves?
Yeah, coping.
Not surprised. Not surprised at all. This is the regular content, isn't it, Ollie? Now you've just got the moaning phone in. That's what happens now.
Yeah, I think I calculated it. Have a guess. I might have done this one on. I might have done this one already on a phone. And how many wins have we seen at OK Football since we started this podcast at the beginning of the Premier League season? Have a guess, guys.
Oh, I'm going to go 29.
Tyler, how many? How many wins have we seen?
I'm going to say 15.
15. Well, it's the middle ground. 25. 25 wins in nearly 3 years of doing this.
Me and Tyler will share that pint.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll get 2 smaller glasses and just like split it between you guys. It's not good. It's not good. Tyler, we're just saying the same old stuff over and over again. So what was your take point from you?
Like you guys have said, obviously they had that great chance at the start. Tyler Roberts could have scored. It was a save, obviously a good save from Keeley. But yeah, it's another one of them games I felt where, as much as there was a good spell from us after that shot, it's another one of them ones where we're still so sloppy at the start. There's been so many games, especially at home, where we've started off so sloppy. We've just give away the ball easily. We can't keep the ball. We'll play the ball to someone and they'll just lose it instantly. It was the same sort of repetitive cycle. And then obviously, it's been an individual error, which has then cost us again. And then, obviously the heads have dropped. And it was another one of them. I mean, Wells, for me, like everyone, I don't think we should be playing one up front. I mean, I remember even under Edwards when we just about beat Sheffield Wednesday at home, and I said in that game we needed to play 2 up front, and we had less strikers then. And even I know we've got some out, but even you look at yesterday, we had 2 on the bench. For me, we have to be playing 2, and then when I look at Wells, I don't really look at his age because I know he obviously done well in the Championship and he's known for doing well. For me, it's just been so disappointing. I mean, 1 goal, 1 assist, and you look at the goal. It's obviously a penalty in the Plymouth game, and then you look at the assist, and it was against Peterborough, and their keeper that day was awful, and he's not their main keeper. Down, yeah. So you don't. There's nothing.
I've got a question for you. Do you think Nahki Wells' international duty is impeding his club form? He sort of mentioned something about this recently, didn't he? And now I know there's not been many international breaks. There's been too many for the start of the season, but he has been away for each of them.
Yeah, possibly. I didn't watch it live, but I did see the brief highlights from when they played the nation that Chong was at, and he didn't have a great game in there. And I don't know what it is. Like, I think there's certain things with the way we're playing in the sense of the one up front. I don't feel that's really beneficial in terms of, the options we do have and things like that. And also the way we do play at times where we try and, do it so they bring it down. Like, we haven't really, other than probably right now in terms of the players that are fit, I'd probably say Nordos is the only player that's good at bringing the ball down in terms of the strikers. But yeah, it's not beneficial. And I also just look at it and I feel, you've got to, obviously I'm not going to be overcritical of Wilshere because obviously his first game, things like that. But we sort of see this under, Bloomfield as well. And that is where the frustrations continue in the sense of a player's done a mistake. They should have come off way earlier. And you look at games like Blackpool, that is exactly how Bloomfield's, managerial game, time, shall I say, was saved from that game because he made the subs at an earlier time. And I felt that should have been done definitely with Wells yesterday. I mean,
Absolutely.
to do two mistakes, you know, at the moment he did, you know, the pass and then obviously the, you know, obviously missing the penalty. And, you know, I see your reaction as well, Ollie, and I totally agree. I said it on my channel as well. The penalty against Doncaster, I don't feel that was bad. I feel it was a good save from the keeper. But this one, he's not even tested the goalkeeper. And it's just,
Terrible penalty.
two mistakes, like, should have been off for me. Should have been off. And I didn't mind.
I think Wilshere could have won the crowd around instantly. But like, as soon as that second goal went on, as soon as Wells made that second error, if he'd hooked him off straight away, like the crowd would have been like, "That's our manager. He knows what
but
he's
it might
doing."
have really dented confidence in Nahki Wells. Half time.
But Nahki Wells, he's 35. He's 35. We're not talking about an 18-year-old kid.
No, but that is true. But you could, I mean, the psychology behind that could make him think he's got no future there. It could impact the rest of the playing squad. I mean, depending on what kind of character he is around the players. But I totally agree. He should have come off at half time. Ideal opportunity. Second half, start again, right? Start again. We're going in again. Fresh faces on there. Let's do it. But he left it too long. He really did. I mean, I'm interested to know what Tyler thinks of. Are we overcomplicating it? Because when that team got announced yesterday, I was with my brother in the pub, and I don't know what I was expecting, but when the team news came out, it's obviously all the players we've got. It was a Matt Bloomfield team. I don't know what anyone was expecting, but it was kind of reality hit. I was very excited until the team came out, and I thought, this is just the same thing. What are we expecting is going to happen? There's no magic wand, is there? And Wilshere's first game wasn't really his first game. He's a spectator as much as we were yesterday, I think.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, looking at the lineup itself, obviously, you know, not down to obviously Wilshere, but like you say, obviously we're trying to shoehorn a centre back into right back again in Makoso, and you know, I've said it with Makoso. I think he's brilliant at like tackling and things like that. But what I see a lot in the games when he's been playing right back is that right side at times is so open, and teams have great chances. I mean, I think it was the second goal against Blackpool. Him and Anderson had a bit of a mare, you know, and that side was so open. The two goals against Stevenage come from the right hand side as well, you know, and it's just his first game there was good against Doncaster, but I just feel you're trying to shoehorn him there, and it's not ideal. And then by the sounds of everything, it seems like in terms of that right side, we're sort of waiting on them other players to come back, like Walters. And there was a game, I can't remember what game it was, and obviously he still, you know, got to develop and you know, things like that. But there was a game where he was getting a lot of criticism earlier on in the season. So for me, I would have liked to go out and get you know, obviously when the window is open, and experience right back, because that's what I felt we had to do. Because like I say, Walters is you know, he's still young, he's still got a lot to learn. And then I would have liked someone with a bit of, you know-how and experience in the EFL to go alongside and just mainly be that starter and sort of kick him on.
But you make a good point that we're waiting for players to come back in right positions. But in the waiting for them, we're going to lose more ground. January is going to be fine. When January comes round, you know, the board are going to have to do something. And Jack Wilshere's going to have a bit of pull. He's going to have a few phone numbers in his book, isn't he, to pull out a couple of decent loans. He's going to have a bit more about him to get the young players in. I want to go play with Jack Wilshere. But until then, we could lose a lot more ground between now and January.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And that's the thing. We've sort of been like that the last 2 years, I guess you could say. We're sort of hoping on players to come back, and then it obviously hasn't benefited us. And then sometimes players have come back and then they've got injured straight away. And it's just, it's trying to work ways around it instead of trying to persist with things that are just continuously just not working.
There is optimism, though. It's, you know, Jack Wilshere's come in. He's going to want to do his own thing, surely. And it's, you know, his first game. He's got a week now. Come Northampton, we might set the place on fire. You know, might roll over Brighton's under-21s. You know, might really embarrass them. The Reflow Derby as well, which I'm disappointed the club announced it at the end of the game as the Reflow Derby. That's how far.
Oh my God, did they? See, I left in the 94th minute because I was like, I physically cannot sit for another minute here. I've only left 3 games early. I left that Birmingham game, the Chongi game, you know, the one where Chong announced himself to the Luton Town fans. I left that early. Watford at Vicarage Road, left that early because as soon as Osho got sent off, I was like, I'm done. And yesterday, 3 games
Well,
in
I had to
30
stay.
years.
I had to stay because I was trying to detach these flags from Block F, and they were cable tied on. Luckily, I was so angry, I was just pulling them off. But yeah, I had to stay. But yeah, the club announced a reflow derby, and now I've decided I'm not going to that game.
Ooh.
Partly because I live in Leeds, and I'm not driving that far to watch the reflow derby. So
yeah, it's on TNT. Absolutely shocking calling it the reflow derby. Tyler, thank you very much for joining us. I think we had another caller that jumped on the green room. So Matt, come back when you can. Tyler, thank you very much.
Well,
Appreciate
guys,
you coming
thank
on,
you.
mate. Have a good evening.
And you, take care.
So that's Tyler. You can subscribe to his content. Check out T-Boys TV. I think it's in the chat somewhere. Kate chucks it in there. Subscribe to him. Oh, there you go. It's been thrown back in the chat. Happy days. Here's an interesting one. We have no strikers capable of scoring a goal. In Wells and Yates, we have 2 players running the clock down and drawing a good salary. Terminate their contracts. They should never play for Luton again. That's very strong considering they've only been here for like 3 months.
I probably wouldn't go that far. I think, yeah, look, we do this every year, don't we? We dive in. Let's see who we can pull out the Legends League. They help us. And at the moment, we've got 1 right out of 3 seasons. Ross Barkley was brilliant. Victor Moses, you've seen him on social media today, flaunting his jet ski, putting his Luton wages to good use. So that one failed. And then I would say Naki Wells, it's early days, but so far.
Early days, he's 35.
No, early days in the season.
Early days in the season. Yeah, well, he's no spring chicken.
I did ask ChatGPT earlier, how good is Naki Wells? Is this the worst he's ever played? And it said, too early to say. But it's within the 10-15 bottom % of stars.
Oh, wonderful.
So, wonderful, yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Just delighted to have him here. And we were all very excited. But actually, I think when I got wind of it, I said, it's not a good signing. And they sort of grouped him together with a Dauphin and Longwick. Where was Longwick?
Where was Longwick? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Where was Morris?
Oh, he's injured for like 3 weeks, but no word on Longwick. And a Dauphin as well. So those 3 have like, in isolation on paper, they all seem like very good signings, but when you put them together, it's like knitting a cardigan just made out of liquid diarrhea. Just doesn't work, does it?
They've all got careers to look forward to after they leave us, where they'll no doubt do well. Reece Burke scored a 95th minute winner yesterday, didn't he? Or something like that.
Good for him.
Good for him. Mr. Weetabix himself.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I do believe it will come good. It is early days, but I'm worried we're going to lose ground. And I know there's nothing they can do about the injuries, but someone said the other week that we had 12 first teamers. How can you have 12 first team players injured? We only play 11. So who are these 12 first team players? 12 squad players that are important to us. Yeah, but who are they? I was trying to think of them yesterday. Who are they? Who are these 12 superstars we're waiting for?
Yeah. You look at it and you think, who from the injury room, who from the physio room is actually going to improve us?
I said it to you about a month ago that if Jacob Brown comes back, I think he might find some form in this league playing behind a decent forward. But wasn't he due to go to Bristol City? So we're only going to have him for a month or 2, and then his move will be back on.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, my thought on it, and every single player that has sort of come down from the Championship with us, from the Premier League as well. I think Mads Anderson is probably pound for pound the biggest waste of money. Until we sell him and actually get some cheddar back for him, I think he's a massive waste of money. Sign League One's leading player, and he's dreadful.
It's spoken about plenty of times, hasn't it? January transfer window in the Premier League, we got in Tom Holmes, Hashioka for the Premier League. You know, Taylor Harris as well. Was he the January signing?
Superstar Taylor Harris and Tom Holmes.
Plays for Tranmere now, doesn't he? Or on loan, albeit.
Yeah. How's he
I
doing?
don't
I
know.
wonder how he's doing. Oh, never mind.
He scored in his debut. He scored in his debut for Tranmere, but I don't think he's done much in the last sort of 6 games. But you know, Carlton Morris, he scored 3 goals for Derby.
4 and 4, and he hasn't scored in the 10 after that.
But they were penalties, weren't they? 2 of them were penalties at least.
2 penalties, 2 tap-ins.
When Tyler said about Sheffield Wednesday last year, that's the game where Carlton Morris scored a penalty and then he handballed it to set himself up for the winner, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
At the Kenilworth Road end. So, you know.
And we're playing 10 men as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy days. Happier days, but undeserved victories. I'd take undeserved victories now over just loss.
I think that's what we need. We just need anything that will boost a bit of confidence, give that winning feeling.
Well, yeah, that's what happened with Doncaster, but they didn't offer much. Wimbledon, we had that as well. You know, undeserved. Here we go. Matt says, nothing sums up the lack of belief among this squad better than the fact we've taken 1 point from 7 League One games in which we conceded first this season.
Wow.
Lots of work for Mr. Wilshere to do.
Yeah.
Right. We got them queuing up in the call room. So let's bring in Tom Davis. Good evening, Tom. How are we getting on?
Good, thanks. Apart from the result, how are you guys?
Yeah.
Sunday, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work tomorrow.
I know. Don't remind me.
So what were your take-home points from yesterday?
Well, I went into the game not expecting much, to be completely honest. I'm not obviously disappointed that we lost. I think, again, as you've rightfully said earlier today, it was merely just a game for Jack Wilshere and his coaching team to watch how the team play, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks they can start to make these improvements. So I'm not disappointed about the result, to be honest. What I am quite disappointed about is the team performance. I was watching that game yesterday, and obviously we've mentioned Narky Wells. There's a lot you can dig out about his performance yesterday, missing a pen. I personally, someone said earlier about him taking a pen and that they wouldn't have let him take it. I disagree, just because I think one pen miss is obviously freakish. However, after yesterday's game, I wouldn't let him take another penalty this season.
Yeah,
I feel like you should have two strikes, you're out.
He's taken 3 penalties this season, scored 1, missed 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't let him take a penalty again this season, to be completely honest.
He's also got 2 assists. He's got 2 assists. Both of them have been finished by opposition players, but only one of them goals counted for us. So he's got 2 fantastic assists this year as well. But yeah, I think the confidence is low. I mean, what do you think Wilshere's approach is going to be? Because I was quite alarmed at Wilshere saying yesterday, well, he praised Wells, didn't he, in his post-match? He said he had a good performance. So what do you think Wilshere's seeing that, 11,000 of us didn't see?
I think Wilshere is trying not to do a Troy Deeney. Because Troy Deeney came out when he was manager of Forest Green Rovers and absolutely slated Fankety Darbo. And look at where that ended up for Deeney. I don't think it's a very good thing to be slating your players after one game.
So you wouldn't take Ollie's approach and haul Wells off immediately, put him in some stocks, throw rotten tomatoes at him, and then, slag off his mum.
The only thing
I would have done, make him run laps around the pitch while the game's still going on.
No. The only thing I would have done if I were Wilshere yesterday is I would have taken him off at half time, because I thought that after in the second half, when he was on the pitch, he contributed absolutely nothing. And I think that could have been completely avoided. I like Nordas personally, because I feel like, again, he keeps the ball on the ground and he's a big lump. He does charge defences, and you can kind of tell they're a little bit wary.
That's because they don't know where he's going to go, and Nordos doesn't know where he's going to go either. So
exactly,
it's like no one knows
what's a brilliant combination. But again, Narky Wells, he didn't have a great game. Definitely don't put him on penalties again. I hope Wilshere and the team, to be honest, kind of turn around and say to him, yeah, no, you're not doing it.
I mean,
but-
yeah, penalty taking. I'm quite old school with a lot of this. I remember like players like Dennis Irwin for Man United would be a penalty taker. You know,
Bam.
he just Julian Dix. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like a
Bam.
defensive midfielder. He's one against Tottenham. You know, absolutely amazing.
Kevin Nichols.
Kevin Nichols. I just think if you were a penalty taker, if I was getting paid 10 grand a week and I was a penalty taker, I'd be there every day making sure I put the ball in the postage stamp and no one could get it. I'd be trying to hit it harder and harder every time. You know, so maybe we need a club psychiatrist and a penalty taking coach.
Well, it's
I
not,
agree.
it's not difficult for a player to just stay behind for 20 minutes, get a bag of balls, and just slam them into a net. That's what like 3-year-olds enjoy doing. You know, oh, I'm gonna kick the ball into a net now. I don't understand. Like, is anyone staying back and you know, actually just taking pens, taking free kicks, doing extra work? Who knows? It doesn't look like it. Maybe they're all running to the buffet at the Brace. Who knows?
So what would you change then, Tom? I mean, would you take an approach of I don't know, changing the setup? Do we have to revert to 1992 style football, 2 banks of 4 and a big man and a little man up top or something? You know.
I would be too young to remember that.
Okay.
But I feel like, again, the next couple of games, I've written them off. I feel like these are games that Wiltshire needs to just kind of watch, and we'll get within the next couple of weeks or a month, he will hopefully try and start implementing his system. But going back to the team, the one thing that really, really pissed me off yesterday was the fact that there was times where I was watching them and it felt as if they just did not care. Now, Clicker, I felt like he cared, but the rest of them, I just felt like they just did not care. The amount of, I was sitting next to one of the blokes that I've been sitting next to ever since I've had my season ticket, and he rightfully said that these players, they keep watching these balls. They don't tend to actually go in and go for him. And a prime example yesterday was, do you remember that attack that Miliali done? And he got it into the box. No player followed up.
And cut it back.
They're
cut it
just
back to the
sitting
centre
there.
circle.
Yeah, they're sitting there, but they're just watching it. And there's many balls that, like, loads of balls that are coming up high, and they're just not going for them. And it's like that mentality needs to change. They need to start imposing themselves on the pitch and showing that they're a threat. Because if they don't, teams like Mansfield are going to turn around and they're going to go, these lot aren't that much of a threat. So long as we score, they ain't going to score back.
Yeah. Do you think the confidence is shot, and maybe the players? I mean, we're perfectly within our right as fans to, you know, question how much they care. But do you think the atmosphere yesterday, while we were all behind them for the first 10, 15 minutes, do you think the players felt that one mistake and everything's going to go to shit from the crowd?
Maybe.
I mean, you know, maybe our closeness to Kenilworth Road is working against us now.
But
you're hearing everything, you know.
But in the next breath, if I was those players, I would be trying to, no matter if the fans turn, it's Wiltshire's first game in charge. He's watching. You've got to earn your place in his squad. And I would, to be honest, if I was one of these players, I'd have been working my socks off yesterday, regardless.
Absolutely.
You know, and as those players, and you turn around and you say, yeah, we're on top of them on one mistake, but if they perform better, we support them. If they don't perform great, we're not going to support them, and we're not going to not support them, but our support's going to be reduced. As we've had 18 months of shit football, I don't know how what other fan base would turn around and tolerate that and not boo and
it's
not
amazing.
like.
To be honest, it's amazing that we're still turning out in numbers. Like, even before yesterday's sellout, you know, still getting like 11,000 at Kenilworth Road this season. It's still remarkable considering, essentially, as I said before, 25 wins in the past 3 years.
And Northampton's a sellout. Northampton's a sellout next week, isn't it? So we're travelling and we're seeing them as well. You know, fair play to the 500 that went up to Blackpool, because I live in Leeds, but I just could not face it. You know, it's an hour and a bit from Leeds. I could have popped over and bought a ticket on the day, but I really said to myself, do I want to go and bear that on a Tuesday night? I mean, got work the next morning. I think a previous
the-
caller said about all the space that Makoso gave. You know, I was in my house in Leeds and I was closer to that Blackpool striker than Makoso was.
It was honestly brutal. Right,
Well-
Tom. Before I boot you off, because we've got another caller
Okay.
waiting. What do you think needs to be priority number one over the next week for Wiltshire?
Getting that confidence up and telling those players that the old manager's gone. They need to work under him and they need to bloody show that they deserve a place in that squad.
Yeah.
Do you think they need a night out at a casino and a KFC bucket afterwards or something?
What, and shagging one of the players' misses?
You said that, not me. Next on the
Right.
line is Joe Taylor.
Thank you very much, Tom. Have a great evening.
All right, thank you guys.
All right.
Yeah. Take care.
Here we go. Before we get Mass in, I'll pull up a couple of comments. Paul Roberts. Brown was getting serious verbal abuse from a couple of fans leaving early yesterday. Interesting. I didn't. Yeah, Jacob Brown. I think it's not fair to abuse other spectators.
No, it was a bit of a fight in the enclosure, weren't there? I don't know what minute that was in. It was towards the end of the game.
Yeah, that wasn't in front of you. That was down in front of me.
Yeah, I saw it across the tunnel, but I wasn't too sure what was going on there.
Yeah, to us, it was more interesting than what was going on the pitch, really. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about Jacob Brown. I'll wait and see if he actually comes back and plays for us, really. So peak Luton, he failed a medical. Never mind. You mentioned it earlier. I'm not gonna waste my breath on him. Yeah, here we go. Stephen Manley. My first game was back in December 63 when we beat Reading 2-1. Over the years, I've witnessed many highs and lows, but I can honestly say this is the worst team I've ever seen.
Oh,
wow.
We had a discussion before this, didn't we, about the 2012-13 season, the one where we finished 7th in non-league.
Because I remember the opposite, though. We beat Norwich, beat Premier League Norwich, didn't we?
It's probably our undoing for the season, but that season, those players, there was such hype about them. And in the end, when you think about who they were, Simon Ainge, Spiller never played, Arnold Mendy, Yasser Kazim, David Martin. Who was up front? Like Jake Woolley, Dan Walker, Rendell, Fleetwood. And we look back at that team.
Don't you dare say a bad word about Fleetwood.
No, I do like Fleetwood. But my point is that when that was happening, we looked back and put so much confidence in that team. And now we look back at that team and go, well, of course we're never going to win anything with that team. I think we'll look back at this season and these players and say, how could we ever think we were going to get anything from this lot?
Yeah, the thing is, on paper they're good. It's not like that Kevin Blackwell team where you've got like a 35-year-old Chris Perry, a 36-year-old Paul Pesky-Salido, Don Hutchinson. He was all right, Don, but he was still like pushing 40. And
well, we've got a 35-year-old Ducky Wells, a 33-year-old Cal Naismith, and
if you want to look back at all these absolute legends that we just named, go check out hattersheritage.co.uk. They all have profiles. We write them when they've retired, and these guys, they're pretty well. Naki Wells, he's pretty much almost retired.
Does Wayne Thomas have his profile yet, Ollie? Wayne Thomas?
Wayne Thomas, I'll have to have a look, but I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, I went through and did a few, and I think some of the other trustees as well did quite a few.
His one sub appearance.
Yeah, we've been adding. If you made a competitive appearance for Luton Town, you are on there. So no room for Dean Kane. Who? What was it about Dean Kane? Anyone remember this one? Stevie, do you know this one?
No, go on.
What's up with Dean? Oh, Dean Kane. So his only appearance for Luton Town was in an abandoned match. So his one appearance has been struck from the official record.
Wow. So Danny Spiller's not on it then either, is he? Danny Spiller. Nope. I still think we need a Danny Spiller trophy for worst performer of the season.
We'll hand it out at the end of the season, and we'll try and hand it out to a player. Yesterday, honestly, when they were about to announce man of the match, I was thinking, yikes, who are they going to give this to?
It's pointless, that award. It's whoever the sponsor wants to meet. That's who it is.
Yeah. I think it was a right choice with Jordan Clark. He was the only one that wasn't
the only choice.
Absolutely terribly shit that game. Right, let's bring in Matt to bring us home on the home stretch. Matt, good evening. How you getting on, mate? Matt is muted. We'll talk until Matt talks. Oh, here we go. Hello, Matt.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. So let's get some of your pragmatic thoughts. What do you think?
Well, the thing that pissed me off most yesterday was the fans.
The fans.
Yep.
Okay.
How anyone in their right mind can think singing "You're not fit to wear a shirt" 60 minutes into a game when the player's self-belief is on its knees is just mindless.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, that's
that
quite
was
early.
that was big in Block F, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I just heard it ringing out around me.
yeah. It was
that
quite
was
bad.
that was bad, and that was a bit early. Also booing at half time. I understand booing at half time because it was a pretty poor end to the half. But yeah, you got a point there. But I feel for 60 minutes the crowd did their bit. The crowd really, well, especially like, you know, in the first half, the crowd did their bit. We were loud.
For the first half, definitely. I mean, this is for the caller, but are you not fed up of turning up and wondering when the players are going to turn up for the full 90 minutes?
I am 100% fed up.
Yeah.
And even to the point where I sometimes contemplate whether I want to go or not. But at the same
Yeah.
time, why are the fans singing "You're not fit to wear the shirt"? Why is none of that anger going towards the board publicly? It's not the
Well, I
it's
think
not the, and everyone moans
it
about
is to a
recruitment.
degree.
Everyone moans about the recruitment. It's not the players' fault that the recruitment's been shit.
Well, on the train
players-
to Luton yesterday, I bumped into two Sheffield Wednesday supporters. Me and my brother were talking to them, and they drew our attention because they were wearing these yellow and black scarves, but they said Sheffield Wednesday. And we were talking to them about their ownership. And I must admit, it's when you talk to the fans of these clubs that have got terrible boards, terrible owners, that it does sort of make you grateful for what we've got. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, and that we're not in a dire position. The football's in a dire position. Right? We've got a new stadium. I wouldn't want the board to go because I wouldn't want Power Court to suddenly become a skate park instead of a football stadium. So, you know, I think the board does deserve a lot of criticism. I think it's on the players, this one.
Yeah, I
But
just
we
think it
did our
doesn't
bit.
help.
We did our bit for 45 minutes. If we can't score and put some daylight between us and Mansfield, you after 30 minutes of singing, if the crowd cannot G up the team enough to actually make a difference on the pitch, then I completely understand fans losing faith again, because we know it's the same old story. Like, once the other teams score, we know there's no way back for us. Like, we gave it a bit, but to be honest,
But
after they scored, we didn't threaten.
The argument would be then, so you said the fans were up for it for the first 30 minutes, which I agree with. First 30 minutes was fine.
Yeah.
Played really good football in that first minute. And I would say this to any fan that has that reaction after 60 minutes. Whatever job you do, whatever your career is, imagine having 10,000 people ready to jump on your back when you make a mistake, when you've got no confidence. It ain't going to help. It isn't.
I mean, you're absolutely right. It's way too early. I did hear that happening, and you know, there was lots of us giving those kind of side-eyed looks and sort of being, you know, just too much. We're still in this game. You know, this hasn't escaped us yet. Get a good 20-minute period here on top, and let's see what we can do. At the end of the game, I was saying to Ollie before this podcast, you know, I've not heard it that angry at the end of the game towards the players in a long time, because normally it's Rob Edwards getting it, it's Matt Bloomfield getting it, or it's the board getting it. But yesterday, the players were the only ones that haven't changed their approach. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, they know their shit. They know they're not good enough. And everybody that pays, everyone who pays to go there is within their rights to give whatever reaction they want.
Yeah.
Whatever your reaction you give, if you give people shit when they're not performing, it's not going to help them. And the biggest problem with this team at the moment is confidence. Because like Ollie said,
right.
on paper, they are good enough. Are
Yeah.
they good enough to win the league? No. Are they good
It
enough
is
to win the
hard
top
when
two?
you donate your time, you spend your money. For me, I don't want an award for this. I drive down from Leeds for every home game, and for an hour and a half, I want to be entertained. I want to see my team fight a bit. Now, it's hard to hold back that anger when the sacrifices that fans are making to get there and spend their money, and you're thinking the players don't look like they want it enough, you know?
I
Yeah,
didn't make a
sometimes.
peep. I didn't make a peep in the second. I didn't boo. I didn't do anything like that. To be honest, 94th, I told you I went off for large moments of the second half. I just had my head in my hands. I couldn't watch it. Go on, Matt. Sorry.
Yeah, I get it. It is frustrating, but I'll ask you this question: do you think this team will perform better if it was behind closed doors?
Well, great question, yeah.
Yeah.
COVID season back, please, eh? Which is one of our few mid-table finishes, that
Yeah.
COVID season,
Because
12th position, but
it's no coincidence either that I think that we've had two managers now in Wiltshire and Bloomfield that say they're great on the training ground, the atmosphere
yeah.
is great, the togetherness is great. As soon as they step out on the pitch,
Pitch is a bit bigger than those little training squares they're in, though, isn't it?
yeah, but I'm from an atmosphere point of view. If I'm a player and I'm walking out of
Yeah.
that tunnel to play, I know I'm going to get shit as soon as I do one misplaced pass, and you can
Absolutely.
hear people in the crowd groaning and
Yeah.
moaning.
But
And
it's not always
I
at the
get it.
player,
It
it's
is
at the
frustrating.
situation, isn't it? I think it's more at the situation. It's like it's more like, because we're powerless at the end of the day as fans. We can shout and swear and sing and cheer, but ultimately we're not kicking the ball. And when you're watching it and you're just like, come on. The same way that we can't experience what they're doing, we don't have the answers. But no, I totally agree with you. It's way too early that they sung that, and that's not the right way to go to motivate a team. But it is hard, isn't it, when you've got the raw emotion, 18 months of this, and you're thinking, can we please start doing something here? Because it's looking a bit embarrassing nationally now. You know.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean, like I say,
buying. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm not buying the fact that the recruitment has recruited bad players. Because on paper, I know football isn't played on paper. George Saville played pretty much every single game in a very decent Millwall team. Lamine Fanny was bossing it at AIK top division in Sweden. Mads Anderson, yes, we signed him in the Premier League. He was League One Player of the Season. On paper, he should be good. Ted Mengi bossed it in the Premier League for us. He was good. If he has the correct attitude now, who knows? Yes, there are massive gaps in an unbalanced squad, left back, right back. Jordan Clark, always a solid, dependable player.
Can
Naki
I ask
Wells,
Matt
10
then?
goals in the Championship.
Matt, who do you think is going to come back that's going to re-energize this squad? Which of our many injured players do you think are going to come back and really, help this situation?
none of them.
None of them.
No, none of them, because I'm totally and utterly convinced it's just down to confidence.
So you
Because
think we'll wait until January, get a couple of Arsenal youth in or something?
I'm not even sure that helps. I'm not even sure that helps because it's a squad. It's 11-man team, and if you've got one or two really good players in there, somehow they've got to get out of this rut of the confidence and self-belief. And it's not just in themselves; it's in each other. Because I don't think people can underestimate how much confidence in sport is key. Take, for example, last time we were in League One, we went how many games unbeaten?
19, was
20,
it?
20 something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was from the
Because
20th of October. Tomorrow in 2017, we went unbeaten until April.
Oh, job's done then. Northampton on Saturday, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Be fine
There you
till
go.
next May.
I think the way this changes is by hook or by crook. Somehow we've got to put together 2 or 3 performances or wins. I think Wiltshire has got to get us hard to beat. I'll go back to that horrible, nasty,
Yeah.
1-0 Nathan Jones era. It's horrible,
Henry Lansby carving down players just idly standing about. Yeah. But do you think, with confidence then, this is ideal for us really, isn't it? Say we win on Saturday against Northampton, say we beat Brighton, say we beat Forest Green, 3 good wins in 3 different competitions, bit of confidence, hit Stockport, and then unfortunately international break is back again for the 15th of November, so we're unlikely to play.
We don't have to cancel that game because pretty much it's only Saville that's missing for that.
One of the main reasons.
Even Nakamba won't be missing.
One of the main reasons why I see it's down to self-belief is take the Doncaster game as a classic example. We go 1-0 up, and then the move for the penalty was probably the best bit of football I've seen at Kenilworth Road for 2 seasons. and the confidence was up. And as soon as they missed that penalty, you could see they were like, "Shit, we've only got a 1-goal lead here. If they score, we're going to get booed again."
You are very right, because we put together a really good move yesterday, which resulted in, I think it was Ali just putting it wide. Or was it Fanny putting it wide in the first half?
I know when it come on the near post in the first half.
5 or 6
Yeah,
good passes
beautiful goal.
across the field, moving it forward. None of this passing it back. It was going forward at angles. And, if that goes in, that's the bit of luck we need, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And the crowd responded. The crowd
Yeah.
responded. How is that not enough to like give the players some belief?
It was. It was.
Well,
But
it
as soon
was, but then it just drops off. It
as
vanished.
as soon as Mansfield scored yesterday, that was it. It was the crowd were gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely gone.
It was a pretty big error. Come on, Matt.
It was a bit. I don't argue that it was a big error, but you can't expect us to not go behind in football matches.
Yeah.
I know we've had 18 months of it. I get that. I
kind
get
of
that,
used to
but
it now.
I think fans, if the fans really want this to change, they've got to play their part. You might not like it, but you've got
Yeah.
to.
No, you bang on. I tweeted on Saturday morning saying, look, we're going into this, no scapegoats, make the noise. If we go 1-0 down, keep on it. And we were there, but the second half performance, as soon as they came out, it just didn't look like there was much to happen. It's hard to G yourself up, isn't it? When they're coming out the second half, you're thinking, right, 45 minutes, let's go at this. And then it kind of just whimpered through.
I don't know whether I wasn't taking much notice yesterday, but was that right that none of the players warmed up at half time?
Yeah, no one.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane, because I turned around to the people that we sit with and I said, maybe he's going to make, all the changes now. And then the same team came out. And it was like, what was that about? But I still stand by the fact that wasn't Wilshire's first game. The fact he's had no one warming up out there, he's probably brought them in. God knows what's been said. He wants the whole squad together at half time. They've gone out and they've carried on. And then we'll see what happens next week, won't we?
Yeah. We'll see what happens with a week under their belts. Honestly, we needed a manager that would put a rocket up them. It didn't look like a rocket went up them, like after the way they came out.
I think he was watching. He was watching, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was crouching down. He was watching. He was trying to do a Bielsa impression. It is very much a case of it's mutualistic. It's a cycle. The fans G up the players. The players give something for the fans to cheer on. And the fans were wrong to get so on their back after that mistake.
Yeah.
But then the second half, we go again, and we most definitely did not go again.
No.
We pretty much laid down, did nothing. Yeah. Right, Matt. So what do you want to see this week from the team?
I think next Saturday we've just got to get a result somehow.
Yeah.
However it is.
And
if we can put in a half decent performance as well, then that will help them. But like I say, at the moment, they're just. I wouldn't want to be in that team. I wouldn't want to be in that team at the moment. And people go on, they get paid loads of money. They're doing a job that they should be so happy to do. But
yeah,
still stand by my point. If you've got 10,000 people telling you you're shit every day,
happy workplace, right?
You ain't going to want to come into work. Simple
No.
as that. Nobody else outside of a sports person will ever know how that feels.
Do you think Cameron McGee is going to help us next week? Give us a through ball.
I'd take him back. 100% take him back. Love Cam.
I like your optimism, Matt. I really do. I do think this will come good at some point. I just worried, like I said earlier, I think we're going to lose too much ground, and it might just be come January. It might be like we're not in either battle.
No, I don't think we're going to get promoted this season. I think we're going to be mid-table.
Yeah.
I think we have to accept that. I think the sooner people accept that, the better.
I accepted it. I accepted it long ago. When I did my League One predictions, I said we'll be lucky if we get sixth. Well, I can't remember where I put us, but yeah, and maybe that was the Championship. Oh my God, can you believe? Just a year ago we were in the Championship. Never mind. 2 years ago we were in the Premier League. 18 months ago.
Yeah, but 13 years ago we were losing to Hyde.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that. Stay humble. Yeah. Stay humble.
Stay humble. Stay humble. Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate you, mate.
No worries.
All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Right, there we go. Some comments. We'll get some comments before we sign off for the evening. There we go. Yeah, Mansfield fans were brilliant, weren't they? Fair play
Yeah.
to them. They kept going. They absolutely kept going. Editor Kate says none of us are in that dressing room, but I get the feeling the vibe is very sour in there. Confidence is gone. They're confused by terrible tactics and lacking real leadership. Well, I don't understand. And I understand, the crowd, the noise, it can get a lot for these people, but you're playing with your mates. Like,
Yeah.
have we, you just have fun playing with your mates. Like, have we recruited such bad characters now that they just don't like each other? It feels very off compared to like the team of buddies that we used to have,
Well, Pelly and Anya Dimma, their games of Uno. Don't lose at
Yeah.
Uno, Maybe we're missing that camaraderie, that the crazy gang camaraderie.
Yeah, they just, I don't know, maybe they're not friends. Maybe like, they just all hate each other. I honestly don't know right now, but
But you're right about Mansfield fans. They were brilliant. When I drove back today, I drove past Mansfield and they were still celebrating. There was fireworks going off. They were on the bridges of the motorway. Nigel Clough was holding the ashes of his dad in an urn, like the Jules Rimet trophy. And they were going, "We did it. We beat Luton. We beat Jack Wilshere's Luton." And Tyler Roberts was there twerking. It's just, yeah. Those moments
tremendous.
live.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, they'll remember that forever because it was only their third away game that they won in 20. So fair play to them. Fair play. Yeah, we gotta really step it up this week. Double, triple training sessions.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Diwali tweet, Chinese New Year tweet, birthday tweet, without crediting his heritage, and probably training photo.
Working hard.
Update on two new injured players that we don't know yet about. Mengi's one of them. So
They don't update on injured players. It always comes out when a player is omitted from the starting lineup, and then there's just the subtweet underneath it that's like, "Oh yeah, he ruptured his Achilles. We'll see him next year." Or
he's
something
dead.
like that.
He's
Yeah,
dead. He died.
he returned to his home planet.
Should we end this with some optimism then? Because it isn't that bad, right?
Of
Look,
course.
we're 4 points off relegation. What are we off to playoffs, like 8 or something like this? It is only the 12th game of the season. Like Middlesbrough will drop off the top of the championship, so will teams at the top of League One. And I always remember Reading shooting from the bottom of the championships up to the top one season, 2004 or something like this. It's still there to be taken. We get a few wins under the belt. There's nothing stopping us really hitting the league hard.
Yeah, true. Like, look, if Wilshere can get his thoughts across and like big up the feeling, and if the players just put on a performance and the crowd don't give the crowd a reason to get on their back. Obviously I can't tell everyone don't get on the players' backs, but at the same time the players just need to do the basics. If you do the basics, then the crowd will give you time. But when you make an error like missing your own player by about 20 yards and slotting a player through on goal, which is an absurd mistake to make, then it's only natural the players will get on your back, especially when you're like a wildly experienced player.
Of course.
You just shouldn't be making those basic ones.
Fans will even cheer yellow cards for our own players if they're done in the right way. And I always think about Henry Lansbury just carving down that Swansea player. It's a moment.
Got everyone up. Yeah. Sol Davis. I wasn't there for that Stoke game, but he absolutely carved through their player.
It doesn't even need to be a goal. Cody Drame in Sunderland chasing down that ball. He needs to chase that down, And who was it that won the corner? Henry Lansbury again, winning the corner against Blackburn.
Yeah.
And fist pumping.
Exactly.
If
you just show that you're committed and you're there, you're actually trying, the crowd will give you time,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But yeah, that's us done for this week. We'll probably have a midweek catch up, I suspect. I'll have a look at the calendar. I'll see what's happening. Yeah. But thank you very much to the glorious Stevie for joining us tonight. I hope you had a whale of a time. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, absolutely top stuff. And thank you to everyone that's watching live, and thank you to everyone that's going to be watching this back. And have a great week. And I guess let's see what happens. But in the meantime, come on, you Hatters.